up, Nabs? It's Platinum. I changed my intro every time I did this shit. What's up, Nabs? It's Platinum TDX and I, and I'm here today with...
What's up, guys? I'm Alpha Excalibur.
And today, we will be discussing DLC and Season Pass practices of today's gaming industry. The reason I paused there is because I almost forgot what I was going to say. But, yeah, we're going to be discussing it on if we agree with them and why we think they're right or wrong. And to save time, Alpha's gonna go first, so yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna start off by saying that personally, I don't like when DLC and season passes are announced like months ahead of when the game's supposed to come out. Like how they're doing with Storm 4 when the season passes are announced like earlier this week?
Yeah.
And the game's not coming out until February of 2016. But I can also understand why some developers like to use DLC because like some of these AAA titles take like millions and millions of dollars to produce and whatnot, and they're trying to make their money back. But I think that if they really want to make their money back, then put all your effort into the game and try to make it great and memorable for people to enjoy and play. And yeah, that's pretty much what I gotta say for that.
Well, for me, when I first heard about, especially when around Destiny's time, when they were going on their downfall, when I started hearing a bunch of negative things about it, I started doing a little research on why companies do this type of thing, and it kind of made sense to me when I read it, because I was like, oh, I've never really noticed why the gaming prices went up. I've never noticed why DLC started becoming more and more of a thing. But what I really thought about it, the economy's changed a lot. So when you see gaming stuff being announced before the game's out, like DLCs and season passes, they're not just to reel you in for your money. It's so they can make their money back, especially for games like Call of Duty and Destiny, which I hate to say it, but Destiny had a big ass budget.
Yes.
So when you see games like Destiny with $500 million budgets or whatever, however many million it took, you start wondering, like, how are they going to make their money back? Because most games don't even reach 1 million copies sold. So when you really think about it, they have to increase the longevity of their game using DLC and announcing the game. Like, I don't think Destiny announced DLC before it came out, did it?
I think it did.
Oh, if it did, then still, they have to make their money back somehow, and $60 games aren't going to cut it. And when you really think about it, the reason why they do this, because they to make the money back. Even Naruto games take some sort of budget, especially since I think they're the second most sold anime games besides DBZ. Like, those are the two biggest games that have the most robust fighting systems, and Naruto doesn't have one at all. But they're the two most budgeted anime games because of their popularity. And when you have Storm going on for so many years, especially when sales start to dwindle down, you need some way to make your money back. And I think that's the reason why even anime games are announcing DLC and season passes before their game comes out. And when they start doing that, you should really start investigating, like, why are they doing this? Instead of saying, hey, why are you announcing DLC before the game comes out? And then I saw when Xenoverse announced their DLC, and then I think the guy, I think his name was Sergio, whatever his name was, he data mined and found the data on the disc. It wasn't complete. There's a reason for it. It's not complete. When they start, like, different divisions start working on different things, and they have to make their money, and using DLC is one of these practices that not only increases the longevity of a game and allows you to have more, I want to say, experience, but not only does it increase the longevity of a previous game in a franchise, so to speak, it also helps you make money for that game that you budgeted so many dollars for. And another thing to take into account, this isn't 2001 anymore, where games were like $30, $40 when they were brand new. The economy's different now, which is why things rise. You don't like gas prices. You don't say, hey, why are you changing your gas prices? You're just trying to scam us. No, they have to go with the inflation. They have to go with the flow of the countries, the flow of the earth. Money is power, and you guys have to say, I don't have the money for this, I'm gonna stop gaming. You can't just say, oh, think of the gamers, we're not rich, we can't do this. No, $60 is not a lot of money if you have a good job, or a job in general, and most of you guys who are saying this aren't even adults. I'm gonna say that now. And if you are adults, you're not even like 25. I guarantee it. Like,
Right.
even Saiyan Kakashi even said in his video, because this video is inspired by him, by the way. I'll leave his link in the description. Even he said he pre-ordered the Naruto shit. I think he did. Don't quote me. But people are pre-ordering these things because they know they want the shit that's in the DLCs. And it's not like they announced, oh, this character, this character, this character, and this thing is going to be in the DLC. They didn't do that. All they said was, this general thing is going to be here. 4 characters, some costumes, and something. I think it was voices. I don't know. But yeah, they just said those. They didn't say which ones, what exactly was going to be in it. They just gave a general statement about what was going to be in it. Nothing specific. So you guys have to take what they say, not with a grain of salt, but you guys have to look at it from a business standpoint. It's simple business. If you were to go into the food business, if you were to go in the food business and say, I'm not going to sell steak for $10, I'm going to sell it for $1. You're going to go broke within a month because you're going to be paying more than you're making. That's why so many competitors still have within the same price range. Like, you go to Kmart, something's $3.50, and you go to Walmart and it's like $3.47 or $3.30. It's because they have to stay in the same range, or else you're going to start losing money. You can't just say, oh, I'm going to give this to you for free and this for you for free. You can't do that, or else you're just going to go broke. Which is why games nowadays, you see brand new games for $60 every time, because if they don't, they're going to go broke. Unless you're an indie developer, and indie developers, they're self-funded. So,
Right. Okay, so firstly, for Storm 4, I've noticed that anime games are it's kind of easier to make money with them because first you have a fan base to hype it up when it's announced. You got YouTubers on YouTube making videos about it, hyping it up even more and getting people even more excited about it. So it's kind of helping the sales if you really think about it. And for a game like Storm 4, which is highly anticipated by many, let's be honest, is a season pass really needed to make them more money? Is it?
Storm 4 highly anticipated. That's funny, Alpha.
Naruto YouTubers, come on.
What? Anyway, I think it is necessary because they're finally taking into account, especially after making the 4th installment, they want to make as much money as possible from this franchise, knowing that Revolution didn't sell as well as it should have. So they have to come back for that, and they have to profit from this game. So they were losing money at first. Well, they were still gaining money, but their sales dwindled from Storm 3 because Revolution got bad reviews, and
Of course, it was a terrible game.
Yeah, it got hit hard. So they lost money from that. They still gained some, but overall they lost what they should have had. So Storm 4 has a lot riding on it for this, especially being the last Storm game. We don't know why it's going to be the last Storm game. Maybe they're... Oh, no, fuck. I'm going to cut that out. I know why it's the last Storm game. Fuck, shut up.
Fucking failure.
Yeah, shut up. But yeah. It's the last Storm game, so they have to maximize their profits somehow. And they have to also account for Revolution. So you can't really say, why is Season Pass and DLC being announced before the game's out? They want to show the longevity and the plans they have for the game, so people can be like, oh, they're going to still support this game, rather than saying, oh, they should make DLC for this game while they're already making the DLC.
Alright, so from what I know about right now, you're kind of pointing out the positive things about DLC. Even though, you see, DLC can influence a lot of negative choices as well, because Bungie did some pretty scummy shit with Destiny.
Yeah, that's true.
Pretty much what they did, we had to pay $60 for literally half of a game. The other half was on disc. And they used DLC to sell us the other half of the game. That's pretty fucking scummy, no matter how you want to look at it.
Well, you want to know why they did that?
Why?
And this comes from a discussion with Heroes and Fools, because at first I was joking and then I was getting interested in the conversation, and he laid a little bit of the smackdown on me. The reason for that being, you know how Destiny has that big-ass budget?
Right.
Call of Duty doesn't make enough for Activision to sustain off of for them making Destiny. So obviously, some stuff had to be cut. Meaning they had to be seen as scumbags, and they released Destiny 2, quote-unquote, and made it a new game. That's what they envisioned from the start. So now Destiny's good, but it's what it should have been in the beginning. But of course that's what it's supposed to be, because their budget was fucking huge.
Right.
And they had to cut some stuff because they noticed, let's see, Ghost did terrible. Advanced Warfare didn't do the best either. But they're still cause, so they produce a little bit, like they produce a lot of money. But they didn't produce as well as they should have. And Activision was digging into their own pockets at that point, instead of digging from profit from the Call of Duties and other games they made, like Spider-Man and stuff. Which is why Activision takes on so many games. So Destiny was like sort of put on the pedestal for their priorities. So they had to cut some stuff from Destiny and then release it as DLC to get their money back, which is scummy, I will say. Instead of like just postponing Destiny and waiting and continuing it at a later point, but then we wouldn't have Destiny until like 2017 or now. So yeah.
All right. So look, if you're in the shoes of a consumer, right? You pay $60 for a game, and then a year later you had to pay $60 more for it because you realize that the current copy of Destiny you have now doesn't even work anymore. So you're gonna have to buy the new with all the DLC apparently, and with somewhat of a story. That's kind of unfair.
It is unfair, but
I mean, I can understand why they do it. It's not justified. But
like, I'm not saying your points are invalid. I'm just saying there's a reasoning behind the scenes. But from a consumer standpoint, yeah, it might seem crazy. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you charging us like this? But when you really dig into it, it doesn't make sense per se. But there's a reason behind it that I can get behind, and I don't really like, but I can get behind it. I know why they did it, and it is scummy, but it's done.
So
which is why Destiny's criticized for what it is.
And plus, it's kind of a cliche game, to be honest.
Yeah, of course.
So it's pretty much money over pride.
Yeah, with most companies nowadays, which is a bad thing.
Very bad. Extremely.
But I just wanted to lay the smack it down on the reason why DLC and season passes are becoming so common, especially in anime games even now. And games are jumping on the DLC train and announcing train before their game's released. So I just wanted to say that, and I also want to thank Alpha Excalibur for being here, playing the part of the consumer. I was playing the part of the businessman, and my name's Vitamin TDX, the Dragon Stream, and yeah.
See you guys later.
Bye!